What is the weirdest advice you have heard that is strangely effective? Do jazz hands in front of wasps and they'll fly away. You'll look like an idiot. But it's working. Edit, * English is not my first language. So don't be rude. Don't wave your hands like a maniac. I'm talking about calm jazz hands. I learned that they'll focus on your fingertips and get confused. So they'll leave you alone. Don't kick a hive and try it. It's working for a small amount of wasps. Also, I'm from Europe. So I don't know for big-ass murder wasps from other countries. And no, it's not working for mosquitoes. Put a small stool under your feet when pooping, to mimic the natural squatting position. Changed my life. Literally. During the first week after my discovery, I had a strong urge to tell all my family and friends about it, but had to restrain myself because of how weird that would sound. So instead, I'm sharing this advice with you. For all my ADHDers or other who struggle with executive function, do chores while waiting. Have something in the oven? Let's see how much laundry you can fold before the timer goes off. Microwave? I bet you can empty the dishwasher in 90 seconds. On a phone call? Pop in those earbuds and let's tidy while we talk. I get so hung up on waiting mode trademark. And the novelty of trying to accomplish a small task during that interim feels a bit like a deadline pressure. Which is basically the only thing that motivates me. Tricking my brain into a mini productive panic is startlingly effective. If looking for something in a low-light environment, try to use your peripheral vision. I read about it in an old World War II manual about aerial combat at night. It has something to do with how eyes work. It has helped me many times over the years. For finding stuff in a darkened room, or outside in a field at night, not aerial combat. You know, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it. / Benjamin Me. We bought a zoo. Sometimes people suck. It really made me stop and think about how some people just suck, and the only thing I can change is how I let it affect me. I became a much less angrier person. I hardly have road rage anymore. And just generally happier. Do you understand? That if you try to endlessly stack bricks, no matter how perfect you do it, they will fall over? My boss told me this after I burned out. Just says that no matter how well you plan your work, too much is too much. 2 from elderly Southern relatives. 1. Something ain't nothing, taking 5 minutes to work out, clean, work on a big project, etc. is better than 0 minutes. We often think we've got to do 2 hours of rigorous work or it doesn't accomplish anything. 2. Time will pass either way, if you want to work to get better at something, accomplish a long-term goal, or change careers or credentials. Don't look at the 2 to 5 years and think you'll be too old. If you're 24 and want to go to college, you'll be 28 in 4 years with or without a degree, regardless of what you do in that time. I tell my daughter to add the word "yet" after anything about lacking something. I don't know how to play this game. Becomes, I don't know how to play this game yet. That sort of thing. It's meant to redirect negative self-admonishment into a drive to grow and learn. And apparently it's sinking in. Because she will say something like, "Ugh, I can't make it up this hill," while we're out bike riding, and then catch me looking at her, give a big eye roll and go, "Yet," in the exact tone you think a teenage girl would use. Then she ends up sometimes just rage succeeding to prove the point. It's great. She's going to be at least 3 times better than me. Low as that bar may be. This is one I came up with to explain my self-esteem. You can't sad your ugly away. I woke up one day after years of torment, a lot of which from myself, and realized that being upset about how I look won't make me any prettier. So I may as well just own my looks. I can fix what I can, but being upset about it ain't gonna do shit. May as well love my fugly self. Loving myself when I felt no one else would. And being happy and enjoying life despite it all. It really is the greatest revenge I could come up with. If you're really shy or struggle with holding conversations or being social, just ask questions. This works in 3 ways as 1. The other person will be doing most of the talking. 2. They also leave the conversation with a positive feeling because most people enjoy talking about themselves. And 3. It gives the sense that someone is interested in them. Bonus positive feelings about your interaction. I'm an extroverted introvert. I dislike social contacts, but the nature of my job requires ongoing interaction, and being an only child has always required me to make an effort or be on my own. This tactic usually works for me and people are always surprised when I say I'm actually super introverted. There was a guy I met at a family-friendly pub once. He was busking and he had a straw sun hat and mismatched socks. He chatted to my family and came to learn I was deaf and wrote me a letter that says, "Sometimes it's better to be deaf, because the world isn't listening." And for some reason that's always stuck with me. From my 7-year-old daughter, I still laugh about it today. If you're ever in an awkward situation with someone or need to just go away, you could always pretend to choke on something. I don't know where this came from, but it's funny and it works. You just run away to get a glass of water. No one thinks about you as much as you do. Meaning we're all worried about people thinking about the tiniest embarrassing things we do, when no one really cares. It gave me freedom to take on more challenges and not worry about failure. Make them tell you no. It's great when you're not sure if you should apply for a job, go for a promotion or a raise, or do something you're afraid of. Don't be so worried about getting told no or failing. You'll surprise yourself. Stressed, upset, panic attack, ennui? Put an ice cube in your hand. Move it around your hand until it slowly melts. It takes about 5 minutes. Primary effect: the cold on your skin grabs your brain's attention. You stop thinking about what was stressing you out and feel present in the moment. Secondary effect: the cold cools your blood, which goes into your heart and slows down the beating. As your heartbeat slows to maintain your body heat, your lungs breathe more slowly as well. It forces you to breathe, which calms you down. After 5 minutes of this, you will feel much calmer, if slightly drippy. A coworker told me that when someone has the hiccups you tell them, "You're not a fish." The amount of times this has worked has convinced me she's a witch. I have texted her at least a half-dozen times whenever it worked. At one point while I had the hiccups and asked a friend to tell me I'm not a fish. Worked. Fucking sorcery. When walking among other people, there's a trick to avoid the annoying little "who's gonna pass on what side" dance, where both of you go left, then both go right, and then you finally pass. Pick a direction and aim your face towards your intended direction, like look to the left or right of them, clearly turning your head in a single direction. This is a clear signal to people so there's no confusion as to which way you want to pass them. I haven't had that annoying dance since. My mother always said, "Go back to basics," whenever I was struggling mentally. I disregarded it for years, but now I live by it. I only utilize this way of living during desperate, survival times. But it's amazing advice.